Jack Crowley. I'm an oceanographer science educator. I've been working on the water for 50 years, and I moved from Boston down to Bedford about 10 years ago, and I've been watching the State Pier from across the bay over in Fairhaven. And I met Captain Richard CUNIO, who's the manager of the State Pier, about 10 years ago, and he was very gracious in helping us tie up a vessel, the EnviroLab from Project Oceanology down in Connecticut, as we worked our way up to bring school programming here into New Bedford. So basically, over the last 10 years, I've watched the pier grow and change and evolve, and Captain CUNIO is going to talk to us a little bit about some of the changes that have taken place, probably going all the way back into the 1800s. So, Captain, if you could tell us a little history of the State Pier and where you plan to bring her into the future.
In the late 1800s, the pier was taken over by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to help stimulate the economy, especially the fishermen, when things were tough. And subsequent to that, it has grown into a cargo facility, which was quite active in the 60s and 70s. And there was quite a bit of a lull, but things are definitely on the rebound, and things are progressing quite nicely for the future of the State Pier. It's happening very fast at the current time.
And I know you have the high-speed ferry here, that was all built in the last, maybe 10 years ago. The offloading site for that, the whole framework and the ramps and all that?
Well, this is New England Fast Ferry, currently operating under the name Sea Streak now, and they do about 160,000 passengers a year going from the State Pier in New Bedford to Martha's Vineyard, both Vineyard Haven and Oak Bluffs. And during the height of the season, there's 13 trips a day, and it takes about 50 minutes to go over there. That's on one portion of the pier. The pier's an 8.5 acre facility, and I have 20 operations goes on at any given time. In addition to the Sea Streak, which is the passenger ferry to the Vineyard, there's also another ferry that goes to Cuttyhunk service every day during the summer, which goes strictly to Cuttyhunk Ferry Service. And that goes once a day during the season, and off season it goes on Fridays and Mondays. In addition to that, the State Pier houses the schooner Ernestina, which is the Commonwealth of Massachusetts sailing vessel, which was donated to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts by the Cape Verdean government. And it's well over 100 years old, and used to actually fish off the shores here all the way up till the 60s. Then we also have several charter fishing vessels. We have the Nice Day 2 with Captain Tommy Chen, and they go porgy fishing as well as cod fishing. And then the Viking charters will come in, and they operate for several months during the year doing porgy fishing. And a lot of people from New York actually come all the way up just to go out from here. And work your way around the dock, we have cruise ships come in during the summer months. We're going to have 32 ports of call for American cruise lines as well as American Canadian cruise lines. And when that season wraps up, I just worked out an agreement with Maritime International. We're going to be bringing clementines into the State Pier for the next 10 years, approximately 40,000 pallets a year. And we're also negotiating on future cargoes, which actually, Jack, you might see a ship every week, all year round, if it goes well, in addition to cruise ships and tall ships and everything else that we have going on.
One of the things I've noticed during my stay here in the 10-year period is the increase in the size of the vessels that tie up here, the increase in the frequency of the vessels, and the multi-use component.
It's a true multi-use facility. People don't understand exactly, like you say, what does go on here. Again, at any given time, 20 operations go on here. It's a nice juggling act to keep pretty busy between Homeland Security, where people don't understand that it's not a public facility, and that I do have cargo coming in and separating all the different entities that are involved in the pier.
I know they do have the railhead here in New Bedford, which they keep talking about building back to the 1850s when they were double rail all the way to Boston. I think 10 or 12 trains each morning went to Boston. Theoretically, if this pier eventually is connected to rail, in addition to the trucking depot, that's another step in efficiency. And again, I would think that hopefully by 2020, we'd have some idea about how to get rail back here too.
Well, there's commuter rail supposedly coming back, and the cargo. between myself and working with the city of New Bedford, somewhere along the line here, between here and South Terminal, hopefully the rail will be going right down and be used for cargo. So this, the buzz for any port now is intermodal transportation. That's, you know, sea, rail, trucking, and aviation. So it's coming. But
Well,
right now we're pretty busy now. It's getting better.
Just in my 10 years here, which kind of overlaps your 10 years, just across the bay, watching the pier from the other side of the water. Every morning I go down to the Hurricane Barrier and watch the boats come and go, check the pier out every morning, and just visually in 10 years I can just see the changes that you've made under your, you know, your watch. So congratulations and best wishes for the future.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.